We are so happy to have you back here at Let Me Know If You Need a Podcast. So, if you've ever tried to help somebody that you love through illness or recovery, I think you probably can recognize that it's a team effort. It's often super messy and it's full of moments where you think, why is there not a better way to do this? Today's guests are sisters, Jen and Laura, and they had one of those exact moments while trying to figure out how to help their mom through her breast cancer journey. They basically, what started with a frustrating trip to buy a bra for their mom turns into a mission and a company. So they are on a mission to make recovery more comfortable for women everywhere. We'll talk about what it means to really show up for someone you love, the birth of Heart and Core, and the love and lasagna that fueled it all. Stay tuned for more. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Let Me Know If You Need a Podcast. Today, we're super excited because we have 4 people on the podcast, which feels like a total party. We have Jen and Laura. They are sisters that started Heart and Core after they went through an experience with cancer, which we're going to jump right into them, kind of their experience and how they got here and what they're doing now. So, hi, girls.
Hi. Hello. Thank you for having us on today. Thank you.
I think let's start with whoever wants to take the lead and how did all this start? Take us back to pre-business, maybe I won't spill the beans, but how did you get into this space?
Sure. So we started originally, our mom had been through breast cancer back in 2002. She had stage 1. She opted not for a mastectomy or chemo. She did a lumpectomy followed by radiation, and she had lymph nodes removed. And at that time, they blasted you with radiation. So she looked like her breast just basically looked like it was permanently sunburned. And so then fast forward, she was getting ready to retire in 2007, right? Mm-hmm. 2007. Mm-hmm. And she was, she'd been a mom of the 80s and 90s, where basically she was, a social worker. She worked full time. She traveled in her latter years as a social worker and didn't, get a lot of time for herself. So when working out became really big in the 80s, she was going to grad school and for getting her master's in counseling and therapy, and just she was really busy, and that didn't get to be a priority.
I love it. Did you just say when working out became very big in the 80s, like Jane Fonda style? Because I think wasn't that the era? This is the best era.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did light warmers. I did one of her tapes once with my friend, and we couldn't walk up. We could barely get up the stairs.
So no joke. That margarine era. They weren't kidding. They were like,
it was real. It was the real deal, I should say. So anyway, we basically she was getting ready to retire, and we said, let's get you a personal trainer. We'll get you workout clothes. This will be great. And we took her out shopping. She was larger chested. She had sensitivity issues from the radiation, lymph nodes removed, lumpectomy, and we couldn't find anything that fit her. It was either a piece of material or enough underwire to create an antenna for a TV in the 80s. And we were like, this is ridiculous.
Nothing.
Yeah, it was bad at that time.
Yeah. So how long was that shopping trip? That was like a several hour shopping trip, multiple store.
Oh yeah,
we went sports stores.
Yeah.
And it's interesting now because, it was underwire free was not a thing then. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, and that was the one thing they recommended at that point was no underwire.
Yeah.
And we could not get any bra.
And then,
Was that back when only men were making bras, which is accurate?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we decided hey, we should do something about this. I don't know why we thought that was a good idea, but we decided we were going to create a sports bra, and we ended up patenting, we had multiple patents on our original sports bra design. So it was created for larger chested women, and it didn't have underwire.
And molded cups that offered the support. Only CD and double D we started out with. We named it after her.
The Bonita bra. We couldn't even wear our own bra because we're both runners. So we go pick out size medium at Target. And we're like, that was always, of course, interesting too, because we couldn't speak to our own bra. But so we started out in this, and it quickly we realized it was becoming tiny fish in a huge ocean.
You had Nike and Adidas, but then you had Under Armour, like all these people in there, and we were.
Well, and then you started having all the other brands coming out. Lululemon, Lululemon wasn't really. They weren't really known at that time. I'm thinking in existence, but they weren't known. And just all these other brands that really jumped into that. And in 2012, so we kind of we were out there selling it. It was kind of a side thing for us. We didn't really know what we were doing. Jumped to 2012, we were introduced to Mary Prody, who created and patented the creative design and patented the Prody drainage bulb holder. And it's a unisex band that would Velcro around the the torso, I guess I should say. And it had Velcro tabs on it that would attach the drains. So men or women could use this after any type of surgery where they had drains and they needed to be able to hold them, carefully and easily. So we looked at the market, the post-surgical market, and we both said, wow, this is where we need to be. This is the space we need to be in. I remember our mom having a drain, and we didn't think anything of it at the time. She had one drain because she had a lumpectomy on just one side. And it was it was a pain for her, but, but no one knows until their own family member or loved one is involved in a situation like this. So
I remember Jen called me, and she was like, it was kind of this, like, do we keep trying to do this or do we get out of this whole business? And I remember I was on, was this before Mom? Did we meet with her after Mom passed away?
No,
okay.
Oh, yeah. We met with her just before.
Yeah, because I was on a cruise, an Alaskan cruise with my dad, and my sister was like, hey, we are, did you say you weren't invited? No.
I know that. I mean, you have to be the favorite, obviously the favorite daughter. I'm paying.
But I do remember that she called, she's like, I think we should do this, and it was kind of that moment of like, this is an opportunity for us. It's something that's needed, and we were going to go forward with it. So it reinvigorated the business. It turned it in a different direction. It turned it in a really meaningful direction from there. So
absolutely. I think that was the time where we looked and we saw even peanut butter has been improved upon since it was originally created. These post-surgical bras were terrible. Yeah. I mean, nobody wears something cotton anymore. All the bras were cotton. After you have a mastectomy, if you haven't already gone through menopause, it'll kick you into menopause oftentimes, and then you're going through the sweats and you're wearing a cotton bra. There weren't great ways to manage the drains. That was the biggest thing.
They were using hard Velcro, like running shoe Velcro on some of these.
And you really had to find your space for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Like your people, basically.
Exactly. And some of it even looked like gauze. And some of them were just wrapped in gauze or in ace bandages. Some of them still do. Some surgeons still do that. Yeah. But we were like, all right, we need to build this into our bra. So we built it into our original bra design. It was that band and cup size, and we're like, this isn't going to work. We pivoted and launched our first real post-surgical bra actually in 2014 after we realized we needed to be more unisex in our sizes. So extra small through Super Queen, basically covering 8 sizes, covering band sizes 28 to 60 inches. So that was... And we were working with a hospital at the time who sent us a sample and said, make your bra more like this. We're like, oh, we can do that. And we can make it better than what you sent us. So not reinventing the wheel, but basically taking what we saw as out there and
getting a lot of feedback. Yeah, we've gone to plastic surgeons, nurses conventions, and that's where we made contacts with some to get our bras into those hospitals, but also to get feedback. Mm-hmm. And we even some of the exhibitors were breast cancer survivors who would say, oh, this is uncomfortable for me.
Totally.
Stretching and movement.
So when you started this to the time that you got to where you feel like you found your little niche, how many years was that? That's a course of how many years?
We launched in 2009, and this was in 2012 when we pivoted.
What was the event where you're like, oh, this isn't going to work? We have to switch it up. What event happened to where you're like, we got to
I think it was being introduced to Mary where we saw the need there.
She's a nurse herself, and so they don't have this. You could take this bra and really turn it into something that's that's a true post-surgical bra. I think that was it.
Got it.
It was more that and looking and saying, hey, we're struggling here. Like, we're not really getting anywhere. And then seeing that and seeing the aha moment of, oh, wow, this is where we need to go. This is where we can really make a difference for women as well as what we felt we could do.
So, like, during that time, your mom was alive while you were starting this process?
Yes, she ultimately, she passed away in March of 2013. So she was just at the very beginning when we were just first kind of talking about it. But we were dealing so much with that, I don't think she necessarily knew everything that we were getting into. I think we were still kind of in that trying to get into the gym space where we could be in their boutiques and things like that. So it was really, really new at the time when she passed away. So
I find now that when I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I know exactly why I'm going to work, to work in like the Gift Well Soon space or this podcast space, to talk to people that are, I just find it to be super motivating. Do you have that? Do you feel like you reflect back on, like, you know, your mom and just the trying to make it better for people going through this? Is that still something that you think about regularly?
Most definitely. I think that's the only thing that keeps us motivated. If we didn't have the feedback that we'd get, like I just had a conversation with a woman this morning who, you know, ultimately ended up purchasing a bra. If we didn't have those emails and the things that we're doing to help and feedback, we would be dead in the water. I mean, we wanted to quit, I bet, you know, every day for the first, you know, up until probably recently.
Yeah. I mean, like any entrepreneur and a company and with, you know, larger things going on in the world and then just in our own company. But I would say that, every time I talk to someone about it, even when we were, you know, even a handful of years ago before we've really made some big moves recently, it's just telling our mom's story. I would tell someone, you know, oh, you have this company, you know, and you tell the story, and it was just like you're reminded all over again. But we have a lot of people who reach out and let us know, and it is meaningful because it's, of course, our mom at the heart of it, and then all these other people saying this is really comfortable. We needed this. I wish I'd had this. You know, now on social media, you're reaching people. I got through. You know, I didn't have anything like this. So that is absolutely the motivation.
Let Me Know If You Need a Podcast is sponsored by Gift Well Soon. Do you have a friend who needs help but is too overwhelmed to ask for it? Let Gift Well Soon do the asking for them. Gift Well Soon, the care registry for life's toughest moments. I think at one point when we chatted previously, you told me this great story, and it was like how the two sisters would have done anything for mom. And you cannot say what you did, but I do feel that if you said what you did, it would make for some really good content. And
we can say that this may or may not have happened. It's been more than 10 years ago. I'm pretty sure there are bigger fish to fry out there.
Yeah, I think the statute of limitations has passed.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So this may or may not have happened, but at one point, Thanksgiving before Thanksgiving of 2012. So our mom died in 2013. In 2012, she and my dad and my sister was in town, and we were all there, and Chris, my sister's husband, and so. We were all there for Thanksgiving at our house. And it was Thanksgiving Day, and my mom was having a lot of trouble swallowing. Well, what they don't tell you, and what a lot of people don't know that I'd love to shout through the rooftop, which reminds me we should do something, blog.
Well, this is your platform. Shout it.
Yes. So we didn't know, but radiation, when you have radiation, it can shrink your esophagus. So that 18 millimeters shrunk. It was a third of the size. It was 6. So she couldn't swallow anything.
Swallowing on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, when one of your best meals of the year, and she's just like, she was almost choking. Like feeling like it was hard to breathe, which I can't even imagine that feeling. So we take her into the hospital. And they're like, yes, it shrunk. We need to go in and we need to expand it again. And she had done it once before.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Yeah.
So, but
All of a sudden.
yeah, it just like happened so fast. But the stupid thing is that she lives, she and my dad lived in Des Moines. I live in Minneapolis. My family and I live in Minneapolis where we were. And the two hospitals weren't on the same like system, so they couldn't see the information. So they weren't letting her eat because they were like, well, we need to have it clear for this. And then they weren't giving her pain medication because she had left. She'd only brought a certain amount of medication with her. And so she was in pain, sitting in the hospital. And we were like, this is ridiculous. So my sister and I may or may not have schemed up a plan for my dad's neighbor to go and break into the house. I mean, he was not really breaking in.
Oh, there was more than one felony charge. Okay, I didn't realize.
Well, I mean, he was allowed to break in.
He accessed the house.
He accessed the house.
Yeah, no, that is legit. Yep.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he went and got her medication, narcotics, and then we had him ship them overnight to us in Minnesota, so across. Anyway, got it the next day, then proceeded to bring it into the hospital, and then finally chop it up like, I don't know, you would for a drug that might be called nose candy, but we were chopping it up to put it into water so that she could drink it, so she could at least, have some comfort. And while we were doing this, like, we had to entertain her, so we were dancing. We're like, can we put this on our resume, like skill sets?
Yeah.
Anything to
Not
make
good
her laugh. Not good dancing.
Yeah.
Not good dancing. But we were like happy dances because we were like, we're gonna figure out how to make her happy.
Yeah.
Without being caught.
Yeah. I think you can put like, drug cancer cartel on your resume now because I mean you
Right.
snuck it in and out and across
mule.
state lines and all the things.
Yeah.
But it's the great lengths you will go to help someone out because she was uncomfortable and there was and I understand the liabilities and the rules that they have to follow, but there was nothing. I mean, we had to do it.
We had to do what we had to do. And I know that did help.
Yeah.
And at that time we didn't know. I mean, she was dying. And we even joked with her, like, what were we going to kill you? I mean, she was so miserable. She was like, I don't care, yeah, it was a tough spot to be in. So, but
But it's like so ridiculous too, because the people taking care of her at that time could also probably recognize the situation and not put you in that situation. Right. So, but I hear you. It's all like, what would you do? So thinking about that most amazing story I've heard in a long time, when you've like been in these situations since, or if you think about, we always have these kind of the theme of the podcast is let me know if you need anything, how we can like reframe that. Like, what do you tell people now when if you've had friends or family that have gone through, you've been through this terrible situation where you've had to kind of together navigate taking care of your mom? How do you show up now, or what does it mean for you? That's Kristen's dog. Crappy really wants to be famous.
This is why we're in a library, not at home.
Yeah, it's my dog.
Oh, the dog.
Anyone comes near the house.
All right. Anyway, what do you do now? Or like, what's your vibe? How do you advise people when they're in these situations?
I think we try to share information as much as possible. For one, like, hey, you get these bras covered by insurance. You get 2 bras covered under the L8050 code. It's by law. It doesn't matter if you have Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance. And we always encourage people actually to go to fitting, like a local shop, because they can bill their insurance. We can't bill insurance. We can give you a receipt that you can turn around with your prescription and your receipt and submit it to get reimbursed. But they have so much going on anyway. This is not one more thing they want to be able to do. That's why our big hope, sidestepping this for a second, but that's why our big hope is to partner with someone like Walmart Pharmacy, where they can bring in their prescription, their insurance, and have 2 bras drop shipped to them, so that they've got on surgery day, got their bras, they can come home.
And we try to be, on that same note, it's just being a resource,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's not our bras and that type of thing. If you're talking from a business standpoint, from a personal standpoint, it is just being there, being present, and really, and asking people what they need. And I think that's, now that people have more of an awareness that they need a bra, that does come into play. But, we always talk about the best and worst gifts for people in these situations, or the way you be there. And I think it's communication. It's not shutting down. It's talking about it, and it's trying to find exactly what they need. And again, from our perspective, then it's like, we want to be a resource. We want to help you out. And how, whatever that looks like, in sizing, in insurance information, and even we know the market pretty well. So, maybe it's not something we can do for someone of who has a certain need, but we like to just have the vibe of like, we're here to help you. We support you. That's our tagline. We really want to be there for people.
And point them in the right direction. I mean, we've said, yeah, our bra isn't going to work for you. Or they come back to us and they said, it doesn't work. You know what? Try. Or even beyond, other companies that don't just do post-surgical, but they do everyday bras as well. We'll point them in that direction because, they need to know, and they're overwhelmed. I would say the other thing too is, I think the biggest thing that we hear back too from people is not like, hey, what can I do for you? Or like, hey, I'm going to bring dinner over. What day is best for you? Mm-hmm. Not saying, can I bring dinner, but what I want to bring you your favorite drink from Starbucks. I know you love the spiced pumpkin latte or whatever. I'm going to drop one by for you. Mm-hmm. Is today good? If not, what days, or hey, why don't I give you an hour? What time are your kids home? I'll come and sit with them for 2 hours so that you can do whatever. Because a lot of these women are working moms. They are, or they have young children. It's not an old person's disease. So you've got a lot of young women that have it that need help too. Walking the dog, like being specific in your intention when you reach out to someone who's got it. If it's your mom or your sister, it's a lot different typically than like a friend or something else like that. But being specific, I think, can really be helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
Let Me Know If You Need a Podcast has partnered with Sleep Again Pillows, created by a breast cancer survivor who went through a double mastectomy. And out of that experience came a pillow system that makes it easier to get real rest after surgery, something essential for anyone in recovery. As part of our partnership, listeners get 15% off the pillow system or bundle. Just visit sleepagainpillows.com and use the code GIFTWELL15 at checkout.
If you were looking back at like that early days, and maybe even this could be more on a personal note rather than so focused on what you think about the business, but like going through that with your mom, going through that as together as sisters, and obviously you guys were very close and supported each other. If you knew what you know now, what would you tell yourselves at that time? Did I not give you this in the prep, so I didn't give you enough time to think?
No, you did. But it's like you start to get a little. I think I start to get a little emotional.
Yeah,
it's like be present in those moments.
I feel bad. I was in San Diego at her first diagnosis. I was in San Diego, and when I was thinking through about the conversation with you, it was that. I didn't really let it in. I was far away. And I kind of just took it in and compartmentalized it and stored it somewhere. And when it came, I think I don't regret things because in the coming years, I made a lot of trips home and to be with her. Yeah. However, being present, I would say, let this in, talk to people about this, because I was just very matter of fact. I told some people, and it was kind of like, they were the ones looking at me like, this is a really big deal. But I think it was shocking. I felt helpless. I felt at a distance. I wish I would have reached out more. I wish I would tell myself, like, have this conversation, have these calls with mom, and
yeah, it's very difficult.
Be present.
Yeah, it is. And she wasn't married yet, but I was married, 2 young kids, and it was easy to just be like, hey, Mom, I gotta go, and there was moments that you wish you could have back and listen more, so I think we both, like she
I would say,
not regrets, but just,
I will say when it did return, and then we had a handful of years with her, then yes, I was like taking her shopping, extra patient with things, and so I can look back and feel good about it. But that first person, I would say,
we did have a really good trip. When was that trip that we had with her? That was right after her first time. Well, my husband and I were out in California for a short period of time, and so we had them fly in, and then we took them for a trip. We took him for a couple trips. We went to Temecula one day,
wine
drinking wine with our mom.
Yeah, delightful.
And
we're like, no one's taking your tokens. You get 5 tastings.
She would come out with
It'd be an hour.
6.
She would like
come out
moms
6
making friends with the people.
She'd have 3 glasses of wine. She was friends. A glass broke. She was like, it was not me. I'm pretty sure it was her.
We hassled her.
We feel bad.
What's your mom's name?
But we had the Bonita bra. So
Yeah,
we're gonna,
Bonita is her.
we have new bras that are coming out, and we're going to rename the Bonita bra because that first one was the original one that was
band size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're switching that. So we did have some good trips with her.
Oh yeah.
You had a lot of good trips with her because
Yeah.
she helped my sister move out to California, back, and then out again.
Mm-hmm.
So they had good road trips together. So.
Right.
Well,
None of us know at the time, right? And it's very, very hard to sit with that uncomfortableness. But what's nice about life is that you can beat yourself up, or you can just be like, I did the best that I could at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did something very similar. I relive the moment that my mom had a stroke. She was sick, and then she had a stroke, and it was COVID, and so I was the only person that could go into the hospital, and because I worked at the hospital, and so she like rapidly was like went downhill, where she was kind of not really conscious at all, and I like left. And like I left the hospital that night to go sleep at home. And in hindsight, I was like, why did I do that? Because it was like, she was never really herself the next day. But, at the time I was like, well, things had been going on. Things go on for so long. Like this has been like 3 years of us going through like little events and things. And I don't know, I think at the time you're just like self-preservation. And so I have released myself, and I think you should both release yourself. It sounds like you did something amazing. I know you did something amazing because here we are with Heart and Core. So what is next? Like, where do you see yourselves? Where are you hoping to be with Heart and Core in the next few, 5-10 years?
We are finally taking the bull by the horns on this one. Like it's kind of been treading on the side, and we're still working, and we finally are both like, all right, we gotta be in or out. Also, my financial planner told me that I need to be in or out.
and our husbands.
Oh, yeah. Our husbands, so we are now just got set up with EOS, so it's Entrepreneur Operating System, to help us to organize our business more. We've finally connected with, we have a great woman who does our books and our financials, but now we are working with a fractional CFO. I just joined EOA, which is Entrepreneur Organization Accelerators Program, to help grow the business.
So we're getting the structure we need. Our thing was like, sometimes it was scary because it's like, neither one of us really have like a full business background or a full sales background. So this organization is helping us identify who these people can be to help us make those decisions. And then we can be where we excel, like where we worked with For Good Profits. We continue to, a company that helps you take control of your social media, meta presence, advertising, testing. And I love that, and it's exciting, and I'm doing that, and I feel successful because for a long time with what we've been doing, it's been challenging to feel like, okay, what do I do? I have a wide open day. What do I do here? And it's like, I know all the things I can't do, and that's what I'm focused on. So we're doing the things we can do. We're getting those online sales. We're being seen. And I really thought, it's a post-surgical bra. We can't be on social media. How are we going to find the people because they're part of a group? Well, we learned how to do that. And it's exciting time. And as much as, social media maybe like in some respects, it's really the way we're reaching these people, and they're sharing things with each other. And it's helped us grow our online sales tremendously. So we're excited. It just feels like with the structure, with the tools, with the know-how, with the right people, we're going to come together, and it's exciting. It's gone from it's stressful to very exciting.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And Rachel and Kate actually are from Sleep Again Pillows, are the one that connected us to the For Good Profits, which they've been awesome. It's fun to have and that's one thing we're doing more too, is connecting even more with other entrepreneurs, because female entrepreneurs, no disrespect to men, but we really need that help out there, and so it's that. And then also, we've got 2 new bras we're working on that we want to launch in the next year. And
we can't forget Elaine. I feel like we're giving I'm giving an award speech. I'm like, thank you. Elaine is looking at the backlink strategy on our website. I mean, it's just like, you find these people who are good, who want to help people like you, and that being the entrepreneur, the person growing their business. It's exciting.
Our goal is to go more international too. We've got some opportunities and options to do that. And, ultimately, like, someone can take this and really make it bigger too. So at some point, we'll, put together our exit plan and that sort of thing of someone taking it and making it.
So it can be everywhere. I mean, this woman called us from Canada. She found us. She can't find the right bra. She's tried a lot, and it's hard for us to ship to in a reasonable amount of time to Canada, cost and time involved. And Jen spent probably 30 hours on that order alone. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like with figuring out FedEx, figuring out with her and what she needed, and it's hard to feel like, gosh, these people out here need us, and we can't be there. So
this seems like a natural place to ask and have a plug. So where can people find you?
We're at heartandcore.com. So HEART and ANDCORE.com. And we answer all of the emails. Personally. So if you
email info@heartandcore.com, we're the ones that answer it.
we will respond.
And
we're in fitting shops and some hospitals use it for patients.
Yeah, hospitals and clinics, fitting shops. And then, and we're expanding from there. So we, we're happy to help in any way we can because we know people are overwhelmed with that diagnosis.
It sounds like you also will just fly to someone's house and give them the bra. That's how dedicated you are. So we appreciate that. We love when people.
I think it would have been cheaper for me to fly to Canada.
Yeah,
take all the bras, have her try them
with
on.
some narcotics and just show up at her door.
Yeah,
It's all going to be good.
Yes.
So we always end every episode with what we like to ask people what their favorite comfort food is. Like when you're really down in the dumps, what do you do? But I feel like there was what's the lasagna 2.0? We talked do you have a bag or something?
Well, we don't right now. We're gonna redo it and bring that out. But we called it Lasagna 2.0 because we had we always heard that people would get like pans and pans and pans of lasagna. Like, oh, you have cancer, here's a pan of lasagna, and they eat it out of the goodness of their hearts. But you can only have so many pans of lasagna and eat so much lasagna before you're like, I can't eat any more lasagna. And so we called it Lasagna 2.0. And so we want to recreate that bag too. We just have been busy doing so many other things. But we need to bring it back because it had all the good things in that bag to really help people during their recovery as well. It was just thoughtful items that we wanted to have.
I'm going to buy the Lasagna 2.0
that.
bag for you and put Gift Well Soon's mark on it, and then you can have them. How about that? So what is your favorite food? Are you actually lasagna people?
I do love lasagna. I love Italian,
yes.
but we love Italian.
Yeah.
I'm a huge chocolate person. I mean, even when I'm sick, you'd be like, you're probably not in the mood for chocolate. No, I still eat. I would eat chocolate. I also I also feel like I'm part mouse because I love cheese. So those are my.
I love oatmeal. I'm not like a
Yours is
cinnamon
oatmeal.
spice kind of person. Maple brown sugar. Yeah. So she's the chocolate. I'm the sugar.
Oatmeal, though. That just seems so healthy.
I just love it.
You could add
Yeah, that's true.
accoutrement.
I know,
Church it
that's-
up a little with like
right,
some
it's like-
granola and things.
Yes, add something. I mean, that's Oh, chocolate chips. I could get something. I don't know, something in there. Maybe not oatmeal. I don't know. But I know that's what people are like. When you're pregnant, like, what was your go-to food? I'm like, I really like cherries. I don't know. I know that you're supposed to like have something, candy bars and chips and stuff. But oatmeal and fresh fruit. I like those.
I was still chocolate.
I feel like your colon
You
probably
do you,
thanks
Laura.
So good job.
Yeah, right.
You're very healthy.
Right?
Yes. Well, ladies, thank you so much. And I'm glad we got you together on the same screen.
Thank you. This has been great.
And we're super excited for what's to come. And we wish you all the best in the next few years. And I hope that the next time I'm in Walmart pharmacy, I see somebody picking up a bra. That's what I'm hoping for you.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it. It's been fun.